it gonna open? Oh, I remember now. Da, 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 da. Okay. Save that, do that. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Let's get that kicked off. Maybe? Uh-oh. It done dirt broke again. Done did dirt broke again. Why is it like this? Okay, well, whatever. Nope. Yep. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Just takes a long time to sit around and do nothing. Oop, 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 oop. Nope, that was wrong. Dag nurbit. There we go. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Does that actually work? Oh, that actually works. Alrighty. Today should be pretty fun. We are into a new chunk of commissions. And we are going to be working on some doggos today. And everybody loves doggos. So let's get warmed up with a rugby sketch. Let's turn these all off from last week. Oh yeah, that's... What? No. Okay, we're good. There we go. We'll lock that. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody's having a good, chill day. I've got the circle template out today because we need to make some round pup dogs. So I figured it was a good idea to have that. Let's start with a round bee. See if we can get make a rugby shape out of a circle. Oh, I hate it. Got like avant-garde rugbies here. Maybe I didn't survive Thanksgiving. There we go. Now we're getting it. Okay. Where? I'm still half asleep. Well. We haven't drawn a sock puppet rugby in a while, so let's do that. Let's warm up with the sock puppet rugby. This is the classic Jonas rugby. If you guys know what that means, great. If not, no problem. You never know if he's supposed to have... That's pretty good. I think that's a lower mouth, below his eyes. It's a good place to start anyways. He's got the big poof. The little legs. Hells yeah. Let's do an audio check real quick. It looks like the music volume is really low today. We'll try that. That's better. Okay. Microphone's working. Discord's working. We're good. James, welcome in. I don't see Mr. Crow. Ah, that's what I forgot today. I was looking around, I'm like, something feels off. So, thank you. Thank you, James. How are you today? Loading. Connecting. There we go. Ooh, I can move him today. I can actually make him a little bigger. How do I make him yell? Is it Control? No. Is it Alt? Maybe it's A? A might be yelling. S? No, it's A. Okay. I should really hook that up to like a little soundboard. Random question. Thoughts on eggnog? Eggnog's great. We've made, in the past, both very, very alcoholic eggnog and non-alcoholic eggnog. I can drink regular eggnog out of the carton. Like, I can drink so much of it that I get sick. I can't drink the alcoholic stuff, but it's both good. It's really good. I'm weird like that, though. You know what? I say I can. I don't know if I can anymore. I used to be able to. That's how I should say it. Hear me out then. Okay. I'm here. Dr. Pepper is eggnog? I mean, what are those 23 flavors, right? What if one of those is eggs? Could be. Are you trying to tell me that Dr. Pepper is just like cloves and nutmeg? Because I would believe that. I'd believe that 100%. Ah, I hit the wrong button. We're just gonna put him down here on the bottom. We should draw Druid an icon today too. Oh, Dr. Pepper in eggnog. Okay. That would essentially just be a really creamy, no, what is it called? Malt? There is a drink that they used to make where you just take like soda water, right? This is at a soda fountain. You would go to a soda fountain, get soda water, and they would whip an egg into it. So that's kind of what that would be. Yeah. Could work. I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm also a big fan of Tom and Jerry batter, which I don't think is a, like, I think that's a regional thing. Which is really close to like a hot toddy. That's what a malt is. Questionably. Like a malt has something else in it, but let's look it up. It's called an egg cream is what I'm talking about. Ode to the Egg Cream, an iconic New York City staple. Go back to the 1900s. Essentially what you're doing is you're letting the acidic nature of the drink and the foam create a really, really simple custard. Which it really, like, eggnog is a very, very loose custard. So, yeah, one way or the other, it works out. Is it good, though? I don't know. I assume, like I said, hot toddies, great. Tom and Jerry batter, great. Tom and Jerry batter is essentially just, I think it's just eggs. I think it is just eggs and sugar. So very close to eggnog, but you don't ferment it or anything. You just whip the shit out of it. And then you pour it into boiling water and like mix it up and it froths. And it makes this really, really great thing. And then you put like nutmeg in it. So really good. Really good. When I tried it last night, it was good. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, like, really, when you're drinking, adding anything to soda, like if you think about like a root beer float or a, there's another version of that I can't think of the name of. When you're adding soda, you're just adding fizz and sugar. So, Dr. Pepper is mostly vanilla flavored. That's its main flavor is vanilla. Which a lot of people kind of gloss over. And yeah, so you're adding vanilla sugar to eggnog, which sounds delicious. So I don't see why I wouldn't. I forgot to suggest something this week. My idea would be Bloody Belly comb jelly. Warlock with another lich finger inside of it. What do you mean another lich finger? I think I drew the one with a finger inside of it. So if you're trying to get an entire like array of comb jellies with warlock fingers in them, you're welcome to do so, I suppose. But that feels a lot like hey, draw the same thing again, but with a hat. Yeah, I like the idea. Interesting. An array of comb jellies with liches in them. I guess it'd be the same lich, right? Just be different fingers. I gotta figure out how to draw chunky small boys. Little chubby doggos. I will put it on the list for you, Norman. I will add it to the list. Let me do that right now. I've lost the list. Hold on a second. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Hey, I got it. Ugh. So this is an interesting commission I have, because I need to draw, in my style, 2 dogs. 2 real dogs. 2 dogs that exist. Which is not something I'm super familiar with. I've done a few things like this before, and I've drawn cute doggos. So I'm not super worried about that, but I want to make sure I capture that it is them, you know? So we have to make sure we don't accidentally turn them into rugbies, as I am wont to do. And we'll go from there. If you're willing to draw another goblin that isn't rugby, I think I told you about the goblin archer I used to play as in D&D when I was trying to get into it. So it's been a while. I mean, I draw goblins all the time, yeah. There's a tiny treasure goblin at the bottom right corner of the screen. Rugby is just the unique character that he's fun to draw, and I accidentally turn people into rugby all the time. Just goes super derp. I'm drawing a corgi, and I'm drawing a, I don't know what the other one is. A little bit of a mix. Bri, welcome in. Also corgi, yeah. Corgis are pretty good. I really wanted a cyborgi for a while, which is a corgi husky mix. Apparently they are painful dogs. Not to own, but like, they're just, it's not a good mix. You get the worst of both worlds. So. Bad hips. Bad temper. Tiny dog. Huh. Let me grab all my references here real quick. Oh, good puppers. Alright, highlight all of these. I'm using a program called QuickRef. Yeah, QuickRef. It's awesome. It's awesome, and I love it. And if they want to sponsor me, let me know, because it's awesome. Arrange. Optimal. There we go. And it's essentially just a tiny canvas that you can just drag images onto. So it works really well for like mood boards and reference images. Okay. I have black nose dog and white nose dog, whose names I will not release to the greater good. It's weird. I find the butts of corgis to be cute, like not a weird way. Yeah. No. Corgi butt is a phenomenon. You cannot get away from it. It's adorable. Okay, so I think the thing with dogs, to make the dogs look like dogs, is just making sure we get the. This will be like a really rough body sketch, shape sketch, and then I will probably go into Photoshop and actually redraw them and like get the lines and stuff I want Perfect. So this is just going to be, oh, she got really cute little eye boops. What a good pup. What a good pup. Also, just a disclaimer, because I forgot what I named him originally. Feel free to drop name suggestions for the Goblin Archer. So just Goblin Archer, you want me to put that on the list? I can put that on the list for you. Any other qualifiers? This is both the cool and bad thing about Pure Ref is that it always floats on top of all your other applications. So I can now no longer see the suggestion. I'll put that over here. Goblin Archer. Okay. I want to get at least one pass done for each of these doggos so I can think about it throughout the day. And then we'll go from there. Little white-tipped tail. This is actually a pretty long-nosed corgi from what I'm used to. Kind of neat. Like now that I'm looking at it, yeah, that makes a big difference. Just adjusting that. I guess the nose of a dog is kind of like is essentially the nose on a person. So the more you fiddle with it, the more it's going to look like that dog, right? That makes sense. And I think they wanted a Santa hat. So I bet we could do something like this. First off, noodle, noodle, ear, fluff. Oh, she's real poof. She's real poof. That's a good poof dog right there. Speaking of naming things, yeah, go for it. What do you got? Did you see the how to name a goblin short that I put up? Did you ever decide on the name for Dogfolk Warrior? We did. Oh, that was a long time ago. I think I posted it on Reddit, whatever I came up with. I haven't checked it out. Yeah, go jump on the YouTube channel real quick and go watch the like how to name your goblin short. It's only like 30 seconds long, but it's pretty funny. Not a bad first sketch, but I think we're gonna need some. We're definitely gonna need some improvements here. Lots of little things we can do. Let's see, what can we do here? I like this. Like she's got little wings here. And then she black doggo. And then she black dog. She does have a white belly though, so maybe we'll play with that a little bit. Oops. I'm on the wrong chat. Sorry, Bri. Hold on a second. What have you said? Santa hat. Nice. Have to go food. Beer back. No problem. No problem. Let's get a little bit. That's really not a bad start. It's not a bad start. Would it be better if she were standing up? Probably not. Oh man, when corgis smile, it's just the funniest thing. Like it goes all the way back here. It's just like, right. That just got one question. Oh, grumpy boy. Hold on a second. I'm going to go check on the kid real quick. What is an onomatopoeia? An onomatopoeia is a word that describes a sound effect. So like bang, pow, pop, zip. Kerboing. Like if you were describing something, you'd say there was an explosion. But if you wanted to use an onomatopoeia, you would just be like a loud bang, right? Or crash. Kaboom. Kaboom is the onomatopoeia that would describe an explosion. One second. Sploosh bows bowmaster. Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's it. If a dog was wearing a Santa hat, we could put the ears up like they normally would be, which I think makes the doggos look happier. But it could also be funny just to like put the hat on the side of the head, you know? Like it's kind of hanging off. But then we won't get as much we won't get as much of the face markings, which I think will make it look less like that dog. So maybe that's not a great idea. She's got a great little bandito mask that I want to keep, so I think we'll try to solve this. Will be dark. Bork bork? You gotta make dog sounds while you're drawing dogs. That's just how it works. There's an eye at the end of splooshy. Another fun corgi butt fact: when corgis like lay down like hot dogs, they go boing. It's called splooting. So Sploot's a good goblin name. And again, because goblins hate dogs, like thwack or thwip. Thwip's a good bow sound. Thwick dog sniper. It's a pretty funny one. That looks more like a chihuahua. Corgis can't really sit like that, can they? The backs are too long. They gotta sit sideways. Gotta go like wham. Have the little feeties over here. Look like seals. Being very arrogant. Bork is another good goblin name. Sound of a yippy dog. Or yip. Yip bow snapper. I think I might have to go more cartoony with the eyes, just for my own sanity. I like me some big-eyed cartoony dogs. The one campaign I did with him, the Christmas one, they had a lot to protect Santa, and at one point the Santa gave him a crossbow, so the player's character was like, I assume not happy. Okay, other doggo. Other doggo has this going on. Big old nose, mouth. Rounder head, no fluff. A little bit of fluff. A little bit of fluff right here. Oh. You can see the collar on this one too, so we'll do something like that. Big square nose. Tiny little eyebrows. Some big old mutton chops. And then these, oh my goodness, the ears. The ears on this one are much rounder and just huge. And I love it. These will be fun. These will be fun to draw. This one's very Noel-esque. Almost completely black here. A little bit lighter on the inside. Some nice shoulder bits. Okay, that was a first good preliminary like sketch. Usually what I like to do when I'm drawing something that is real, like a person or in this case the doggo, I just want to sketch it once, like right from the reference, and that way I can get kind of a lot of good information about where things are. Kind of start getting that character in my head, and then I can go through later and kind of redraw things and move things around and have fun with it. But this was a good starting point. And now I can go back later today and I can start fiddling with it. But now I've drawn like the key things that are important to remember. I may have drawn this doggo a little too chunky. Just a little too chunky. Should probably be more like over here. Yeah, that's much better. Let's change that real quick. This is going to be a fun project. I'm going to try to get this done this week, maybe even this weekend. And then next week, we're going to try, after we're done with this, we're going to either have some mini commissions to do, or we're going to start working on the video game, which I think will be a lot of fun. And that'll be a fun project for the next year. Moving into next year, I mean. Sorry, let me catch up on this. Here we go. Alexander, welcome in. Those are some cute Christmas doggos. Thank you. We like chunky doggos, that's true. You can get knocked back if you shoot that and immediately probably shush, it'll be fine. That's pretty great. Hello, tiny pixie. Here's a ballista. This dog's ears are just massive. Just big, giant floof ears. I love the little wisps at the bottom. He almost looks like a cat. Maybe I'm accidentally drawing him like a cat. What if we do big old anime eyes? Actually, that's not bad. I kind of like that. We just do the top half and then a little like bloop. It's not a bad way to do doggo eyes. Just give them little people eyes. She actually does have a little bit of banding around the whole eye, so we'll make sure we get that in there. Cool. Okay, that's a great place to start. I don't think he was supposed to have the Santa hat, but let's add a Santa hat just for fun. Maybe little antlers. Little reindeer antlers. Whoop. Maybe this is a jingly Christmas bell. You know, the reference I have has it right there. Let's put it right in the middle. Let's just put it right in the middle. Artistic freedom, I can do that. Artistic liberties. Okay, let's get into some viewer suggestion. Let's see what we can do here with what we got. We are doing the side quest again today, so if you want to jump the dice gods, because we normally roll dice and then the dice gods decide which ones we draw. If you'd like to forego that, you can throw some money at the super chat, which will make me turn off the ads on the stream for everybody, and then we can I'll just do your suggestion right there, or we can do an extra suggestion if that's what you got. So either way, I'm gonna get some Christmas cash. It is Jump Rope's birthday as well, but that's kind of a secret, so, you know, don't harass chat with it, but we'll try to get everybody in the Discord to wish her a happy birthday later. Cool. Let's get going. Let's get going on that. So I have the list set up, saved from Monday and Wednesday. I'm gonna roll the dice, and we'll see what happens. So, I rolled an 8. There are 12 currently. Hermit Crab Scribe Wizard. He is the navigator of his pirate crew. So he's a hermit crab who is a wizard that is the navigator. Okay, navigator. That makes sense. For some reason, when you say navigator, I think of like the pilot, the captain, whoever has the Steering wheel? Would that be the navigator? The navigator is just the person that looks at the charts, right? First, we draw a big turd. I find it very strange that hermit crabs don't actually make their own shells. Crow's nest one. We should check that out, actually, James, because I'm curious. Because there's if you have a boat, helmsman. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, thank you. I was looking for a helmsman because you'd have a helmsman on the wheel, and I would say you'd have a lookout or a scout up here with the telescope, and then you'd have your bowsman, which takes care of the ship. You have your captain, and then I would think you would have your navigator staying inside, looking at the maps as people are relaying like depth. Someone's checking the depth of the water. Someone's checking like how fast they're going by dropping a rope in the water. So you have people helping the navigator by taking speed and depth measurements, and then they're tracking that and making sure they're staying on course. Quartermaster should be in charge of all the people and stuff on board. But I like the idea that a ship just has a hermit crab as a navigator. That makes me really happy for some reason. It feels very Muppet Treasure Island. Everything become crab. Everything become crab. Oh man, hermit crabs are weird. They put all of their defenses in the front. The trick here is to not just draw a hermit crab, right? Like we have to turn it into a pirate and or adventurer. But crabs are fun to draw. Crabs are essentially a shit ton of very soft trapezoids. Every part of a crab looks like this. And then it's lighter on the outside and gets darker in the middle. And that's it. You just slap a bunch of those together, you got a crab. How about some crystallization, me boys? Yeah. One day ye all become crab. I had to copy paste the definition from Google because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Should we give him a pirate hat? I want to give him like an earring, but that doesn't make any sense. So maybe we give him... we gotta put like magical runes on his... I'm gonna do something else that I haven't done in a while. I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna make a color match so I can come back to it. Since he's a scribe wizard, it makes sense to me that he would have runes like scrawled all over the shell. Maybe we'll should have a little peg leg. Or a hook. That would be really funny, actually. Instead of his little big old claw here, he's just got a hook. Which doesn't make any sense. I guess you can still have the hook. It's just temporary. Scraps can regenerate pretty much everything. I feel like we gotta give him a little hat. Should he have a little Buccaneer hat? Yo ho, me hearties, yo ho.
Hello.
Carcinization. Hey, welcome in. You're a little quiet for me today.
I am?
There you go. That's better. I almost didn't hear you say hello. Got worried. But you're fine now. Howdy, howdy. How's your Thanksgiving?
It was okay. I was kind of sick most of yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Put the Corvus button on.
Ah.
Caca! I watched the who's the guy that the British guy that talks about American stuff? Oh.
John Oliver?
No, he's a YouTuber.
Oh. Lawrence.
Yeah. Can't remember what his YouTube channel's called, but
Something about Lost in the Pond.
Lost in the Pond, yeah. He was talking about trains, planes, and automobiles, which I watched for the first time yesterday. I think I've seen it before, but so long ago that I just did not remember it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about seeing that as a child, and then thinking that Thanksgiving was Christmas. And it was like, interesting. And I just I like that kind of that thought, because I think somebody asked me that Wednesday, like how Thanksgiving was different than Christmas, and it's like it's pretty much the same. I think I called it a travel holiday.
Yeah.
when we actually go traveling somewhere to eat with people. But I think the ongoing joke is that everybody just fights with their family on Thanksgiving. Because it's kind of true, but...
Kinda. It is true.
Jump Rope and I were definitely at each other's throats for the first, like, half of the day.
It's such a stressful day. Like, if you're cooking the food...
Yeah.
And, like, then everyone shows up. Either someone shows up too early, and then you're, like, kind of distracted by them, or everyone shows up late, or you fix too much food and no one shows up.
I one time invited like 20 people to a barbecue and literally nobody showed up. And I was just like, well, time to find new friends.
Yep. I wasted $500 on this barbecue. I would have been in earlier, but I got distracted by playing Elden Ring DLC.
Nice. You enjoying
I
it?
finally got to work.
That's good. Yeah, no problem. I'm just working on stuff today. We got the doggos started. So, like, we got little dogs. Which I'm excited for. It'll be fun. Damn, that sucks. Yeah. And now we're drawing a pirate navigator crab.
Yahar.
That's what I said, but I gotta figure out how to Yahar him up. It doesn't feel right. He needs a gold ring, for sure. We'll give him like a golden earring. We'll just clamp on here. It's like required. If you're gonna be a pirate, you gotta have your insurance policy ready. Nobody wants to be buried at sea.
Make sure your husband gets all your loot.
Yep.
I just briefly going back to the Elden Ring stuff. This is what I fought just before I got done and came on here.
Oh boy, is that a sword?
It's classified as like a great axe.
Oh yeah, I hate those. They made a couple of those in the original game that I tried to use. Where,
It's like a big guillotine thing.
Yeah, I think the first one was called the guillotine axe, and then it's essentially a giant like handled blade on both sides. It's like this doesn't make any sense.
It's a mezzaluna. Neither does the ultra great swords.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But I mean, like, I've used one of what that is, right?
Yeah.
Because in real life, this
restaurant
is how you cut a pizza. With a knife the size of the pizza. You just go whap, 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 whap. 3 strikes.
So this thing will...
I almost stole one when I quit working at Pizza Hut. Because they're pretty cool.
Boomerang it out.
Oh, we can throw it too?
Well, it can throw it. I don't think you can throw it.
Got
it. Its big move is like you like slam down and like twist your body and like corkscrewing along the ground. It looks incredibly painful. It also has a horse that it will jump off of, and then like you can't target the horse, which is a little annoying.
Can the horse hit you?
Oh yeah, the horse can definitely hit you.
That's bullshit.
And they'll do this like crisscross pattern, so it's like, I need to move, I need to move, I need to move.
That's what we call a rocket horse. And I hate that mechanic. Because it's lazy coding. When the boss becomes 2 things, but only one of them is actually targetable and the other one is just invincible, it's like, Why is this invincible? Let me block, stop, or destroy that.
Yeah.
Because
I guess you technically could block it.
Essentially, what they're doing is you have. This is a horrible horse. This thing leaves, and now the hitbox is still remaining on the boss. But this no longer has a hitbox. And it's like, why doesn't this have a hitbox? So it's a projectile. That horse is a projectile. That's where I'm getting at.
Yep. Luckily enough, it's like one of their... It has like the least HP of any boss in the DLC.
Interesting.
Ironically. But it hits like a truck.
That makes sense.
So like, I was like... I busted out the Scarlet Rod and Holy Damage and Lightning and... nuked it. After I finally got used to its moveset. And it gets a weird ice flame spell as its remembrance as well.
Okay, I have a weird, creepy question.
Yes.
About the crab. About this crab. If... How does regeneration work? Caveat. If you cast regeneration on a human, over a week they can regrow a limb, right? So, like, it slowly allows them to regenerate. If you cast it on something like a crab, does it, like, force molt it? Or does it just regrow the limb? Because, like...
Well, first of all, I don't know how crabs regenerate their claws after they lose them.
They molt. Yeah, they molt and then...
Because I know, like, some crabs would just rip it off and throw it at a predator just to get away.
Yeah, so that's the thing with crab. And same thing with, like, if they get too cold, their limbs will just automatically kind of detach because they're taking damage. And then they just have to survive long enough to their next molt, and then they'll get their limbs back.
Maybe an isolated molt? Like, just around the arm?
That could be interesting. Bugs are weird. Bugs are weird.
Crustaceans are weird.
Crustaceans are weird. Is bug the same as a fish? I think bug is a non-descriptor.
Yeah. I would consider... I treat bug like I would treat fish. Yeah.
Everything is bug, everything is fish.
If it meets the certain parameters, yes.
Right. He needs a little hat. He just does. He just needs a little hat. Question though, would a pirate crab wear the hat like this? Or like this?
Or would the shell just be the hat?
He should just have a hat-shaped shell.
But you've already drawn the shell.
We could just give it a feather or something. I guess lots of pirates don't have hats; they have bandanas. So let's give the eye a little bandana. That doesn't read right. Well, let's give the shell a bandana.
What other bosses have I beat?
Nope, I hate it. Dang it.
It a giant, like, weird monkey boss. They're also in the base game. The little demi-human queens.
Oh, yeah.
This one dropped a katana called the Starlined Katana, and it's like the shortest katana.
Does it use magical
it's
based stuff?
It is a magical
big?
base katana.
Okay. So I'm just trying to follow the
It's
naming conventions. That's what I was asking.
yeah, and so its Ash of War is this kind of long chain of attacks that like magically like extends the blade to like
Oh, okay.
not super long, but like definitely gives you more reach, and like it has like a little jump up, like a jump teleport and slam down.
That's something like that I think is kind of missing from D&D. It's complicated, so I'm not like super upset that it doesn't exist. But I think it's something
Heck,
that
that may
could
be
be played
too
with.
complicated for Pathfinder.
Right, and that's I think why it's not in there. But essentially, I think Matt Colville is trying to do it with the Illriggers. Kind of what my thought is like I think this is the intent, is that every time you attack with the sword, it amps up, or something happens. Like you do a combo move. So as long as you can keep doing these effects, you extend your reach, you extend the damage, you extend the die. That would be a cool thing. So like you cast a spell on turn 1, and then turn 2 you attack. Turn 3 you attack with more strength, right? Like it's just like you have this thing as long as you keep the chain up. I think that could be a lot of fun. And I think that's interesting. That's why I like the Illriggers rune setup.
Yeah,
But
it definitely gives the incentive to like be like attacking more,
and I do
which
still,
is something I feel like Pathfinder doesn't almost like penalizes people for trying to do
yeah.
if you're like not built correctly.
And I think part of it is I think it would also incentivize the DM to really play with movement mechanics and things, because like as the DM, unless they're like, I've never seen a creature we fight like use recall knowledge on a player, right? Like they're gonna waste their first action doing this. It's like, no, it's always bite, grab, do damage from the grab, right? Like that's generally how a lot
Or
of,
stride or whatever.
yeah, stride first and then attack. Like it's something that's very very mechanical and very kind of basic. And so that's something I think is missing from the base game. That's the other reason they removed attacks of opportunity from everybody, because they wanted to incentivize players repositioning and moving around. And so I think that would be another step in the right direction, right? It's like, oh, if someone starts a combo on you, you're going to want to either A, stun them, break their combo, or get out of the way, right? Like to prevent them from finishing their combo. But I do think that players would get very disheartened if every time you started a combo, someone just moved. So, like, there's a balance there.
Yeah.
And I definitely understand that. So, it would get complicated, but I think it's fun. I think it's a fun idea to play with, and something worth investigating more. You know, I think I'm done with this little crab man.
Yeah.
I feel like he needs a sextant or something, but I mean, he's a crab.
It's a pirate.
Crab. He'll figure it out.
Yep.
We're just gonna fill up this whole thing today, I think that's our plan. To the next one. Alexander. Yeah. I might need to take a quick break and get a refill on my water. Let's roll and see what we're doing next, and then we'll go from there. A robot with no arms holding a greatsword in his mouth. That's a thing. Alright. The armless samurai. Do something like this. And then I'll be right back. Give me a second. Corvus, entertain the people.
I don't know how to entertain people.
No, don't worry about it. I'll just be right back, everybody. Hang tight. Okay, we're back.
Welcome back.
I assume when they say great sword, they want big old giant sword,
Yep.
not actual great sword.
Fancy great swords.
Yeah.
Not real life great swords.
The Buster Sword. The whole thing about the Warforged is that they are not
They what?
constructs, right? The whole thing about Warforged is that they're not technically constructs.
No, they're constructs, but not like golems,
Right.
because they have like an actual soul.
I liked, I don't know, I don't think you ever played StarCraft, right?
No.
So the Protoss are weird aliens that are all like telepathic. So like they start off looking kind of like this. They're big, weird, dumb heads. But then you can do a bunch of weird stuff with them. Like you can fuse them together to make archons, which just become like beans of. You take two of them and turn them into a giant lightning elemental. But if they die, this is in lore. If they die, they take their soul and put it in, into like another machine, and they become dragoons or ships, depending, I think. But they can basically they can take their soul and put it inside of a thing, so that they can continue fighting. And I thought that was always kind of cool. Just like, well, that body's broken. Time to build a new one.
Go ahead.
I think that happens to one of like the main characters. Is he is like a pilot originally, so he's just a hero ship unit, and then you fight with him on a planet, and then he dies, and then he becomes a dragoon. And you're just like, yeah. So you get to play the heroes. It's kind of like all the different pieces.
I know in Warhammer 40k, the Eldar, the space elves, the quote-unquote kind of good ones, the high elf versions, they have these things called like a Wraith Guard.
Wraith
And-
Guard?
Yes, Wraith Guard.
Okay.
And they're made of wraith bone, which is
Interesting.
too complicated to explain. Just a weird substance that they work with a lot, and they're like mechanical constructs. And all Eldar have soul stone. And, like when they die, their soul is like sucked up into it. Because if they don't, they're going to be like eaten by Slanesh. But anyway, they can, in like desperate times call for desperate measures, they'll take the soul stones that have been filled and plug them into Wraith Guards or Wraith Knights to like animate them. So yeah, Starfighter just really did just rip off everything.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think they wanted, like I said, I think they wanted to build an RTS and knew they couldn't get Game Workshop to do that. So they just stole it.
Just whole cloth.
Did StarCraft ever get sued?
I feel like we've looked this up before.
Rumor has it that Blizzard attempted to develop an RTS based on Warhammer, or the 40K franchise, but the deal fell through and Blizzard had to develop a prototype furthering their own IP instead of the Warcraft StarCraft. So, making generic tokens and different blah 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 blah. And that's why it feels like a ripoff. They settled out of court in the late 90s. Blizzard made several changes going forward as a result, like axing those faceless blob characters who appeared briefly in the Zerg campaigns. The last line of this comment is Guild Wars, or Guild Wars. Games Workshop and Activision can both get fucked, in my opinion. They're both shitty corporate monopolies.
Yep.
Interesting. So the Cerebrits were the thing that like were too close.
What are those?
In Warhammer, I think they're like the Overmind. The thing that controls all the Tyranids. Are the Tyranids a hive mind?
Yeah, they're like a big giant hive mind swarm thing.
Yeah. Apparently that was the thing that went over the line, so Blizzard removed it when it came out with their expansion. They had Kerrigan destroy all of them to make it more different. Whatever.
So the Zerg are no longer a hive mind?
They're not. They're faction groups of... I mean, they still telepathically are, but instead of it being like a galaxy-wide thing, there's just factions of smaller brood queens that control them. And they went even further when you go to Wings of Liberty into like Proto-Zerg and a bunch of other crap.
Yeah, there's... In 40k, you have like different hive fleets of Tyranids. So there's like Hive Fleet Leviathan, Hive Fleet Jormungandr.
Just giant worms. Non-stop giant worms.
Yep. And then 40k decided to make Gene Stealer cults, which are like people who have been warped by the Tyranids to like prepare a planet to be consumed.
Ah, you mean infested Terrans. Yeah, it sounds like they were trying to make it. The deal fell through. They made the game anyways, and then settled out of court for keeping their own shit.
Oh dear.
Which, whatever. That happens, right? Like that's the biggest thing I think people that kind of like drives me crazy about, like corporate lawsuits and things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it happened with some of the Avengers movies as well, of people like kind of jumping out of their contracts. It's like, yeah, you can do that, and then they sue you. That's how that works, and then you settle. Like that's how the contract resolves if there's arbitration for it, right? Like,
Yep.
And it's the same thing with landlords and whatever else you come up with. It's like if someone is unhappy with the contract, you break it, and then you do a lawsuit. And there's been a whole bunch of, I'm gonna say shady shady reporting about stuff like that, right? Because the media loves the tag of like X sues Y, right? But it's like, no, that's completely normal. Like Netflix or Netflix sues blank person, or someone sues Netflix. It's like, yeah, because they didn't like the contract, and then they broke the contract. That's exactly why it's there.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm done with this robot boy. No armed robot boy.
It kind of reminds me of like when people would report on like those quote unquote frivolous suits back in like the 90s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Famous one I remember is the woman who sued McDonald's for having too hot of coffee.
Yeah. That's an oversimplification of what actually happened.
Yep, the woman was severely burned.
Mm-hmm. Only sued for her medical costs, which I think is very rational.
Yep.
And then the jury was like, no, fuck McDonald's.
They took it even farther.
Yeah, you pay this woman a lot of money right now.
Like, I didn't ask for this much, but thanks.
But it's just the sensational thing of saying, hey, this lady sued McDonald's because coffee was too hot. What an idiot, right? It's like, that's not what happened. It's not what happened.
Like spilling her in the car, and it's like she wasn't driving.
Yeah. So that's the thing about like what I like about being able to look that stuff up now, right? Because in the 90s, like the internet was not as robust as it is now.
No.
And so a lot of things were hearsay, and we'd have to do a lot of digging just to figure out what happened with that thing. And so otherwise people are just like, oh man, this is a total ripoff. It's like, yeah, it's already been dealt with though, right? Like that's the important part of it. Versus like Pal World today, right? Like Pal World was not anything ever in conjunction with Nintendo. They're just like, what if we made a Pokemon game?
Yep.
What if we made a Pokemon game with this Ark Survival pack I downloaded from the Unity store?
And are wondering why they're getting sued.
Yeah. I've known a lot of indie developers, and a lot of them have hand waved things like that, of just like, I want to put this funny thing in my game. I doubt Nintendo will sue me because I'm so small. And it's just like, that's a big risk. That's a big risk you're taking. And like, I don't know.
Like, adding a reference to your game is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't copy it whole cloth.
Yep.
Because, like, for instance, take the Elden Ring DLC. There's a literal reference to Wolverine because there's a dude named Logan.
Logan.
Or something like that, yeah. Who just is wandering around the woods in, like, baggy, like, tattered trousers, bare-chested, and has beast claws.
Funny.
Which is a new weapon type. And it's just, like,
Good
has
reference.
big mutton chops. Yeah, that's Wolverine.
Yeah, like
But
it's
it's
fine to put stuff like that.
far
like,
enough away
Yeah,
from
and
Wolverine.
it's not like a key thing of the game, right? Like, and that's I think the biggest problem with Power World is like, if they had put in like it's a Pokeball, you can catch dumb shit in it, right? As just like a throw off, that's fine. But like no, what if we take the core mechanics of Pokemon where you have to go out and catch creatures and enslave them? It's like, hold on a minute, this is Pokemon. Like, no, it's not. I promise it's not. There's guns. And it's like, it's still Pokemon.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Next suggestion. 4. A Warforged barge that is essentially a walking talk. I did that one last week. I already did that one.
Yep. You're right to remove it.
Should I re-roll or should I just take the new 4? I'm gonna re-roll. It feels more fair. I also forgot to erase the Hermit Crab Wizards, but I will do that right now too. Now there's not 11. I need a D10. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. 8. Bloodcomb jelly with another Lich Finger inside of it. Here we go. I don't want to draw this 10 times. I'm going to say that right now.
What is it?
A few weeks ago, I drew a comb jelly with a Lich Finger inside of it. And Norwin said they wanted more fingers. But, like, I'm basically just drawing the same thing upwards of 10 times. So I'm not super stoked about doing that. But we'll give it another go today, for sure. What do bloodcomb jellies look like? That's right. I should probably use red. That will make more sense. Okay. Do something like this. Behold the Lich Fingers. Draw a potato, give it a weird skeleton. That's how you draw bloodcomb jellies. I guess back in the day we drew Dr. Random's, like, entire kobold army.
Yep.
So there's probably nothing
Though
wrong
it was
with
a different kobold.
Yeah, so maybe different
so.
jellyfish. Maybe that would help. If they're not all in bloodcomb jellyfishes, I'd be more okay with that. Or maybe I just have to get really good at drawing bloodcomb jelly. Because, I mean, like, if that's your suggestion for the week, I don't think it's fair for me to be like, no, don't do that. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Jellyfish are essentially just oozes. Like, 100%.
Yes.
Can you cut a jellyfish in half and have it turn into 2 jellyfish? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. I don't think they
Yeah,
bud.
They just die.
I'm pretty sure, like, sea turtles eat them. And, like, I imagine them being bit in half just kills it.
They almost need the weird black background. Oops.
That looks like a bird cage. Not gonna lie.
I mean, they look a little bit like a bird cage. And then we're gonna get some like ghostly green in here. Put like a death seal on this jellyfish. And then we'll draw a finger. I'm gonna put that on this layer. Would a lich fingernail keep growing? Because I think the whole like your fingernails, nails, and hair keep growing after you die is kind of been debunked. But maybe not.
What is it? Sorry.
So like the whole like your fingernails and hair keep growing after you die is kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's was a misconception about one, like you get dried out and your fingernails look longer.
Yeah.
But two, like your hair isn't dead. It's just not it's not a living tissue. It's like bug chitin. You're not creating dead tissue. It's just your body is generating it. Your body is creating a keratinous substance. So I don't know. I don't think that actually happens. I'd have to look.
Well, according to X Mortician, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Okay.
And if anyone's gonna know, it would be a mortician.
Yep. That was a good place to look for answers.
Yeah, the body does many things when it expires, but growing more longer fingernails and longer hair just isn't a thing. It's just skin around the fingers is already fairly tight, so it's just shrinking back even farther.
Welcome to Friday Macabre.
Yep. And then there's corpse wax.
What? Corpse flex?
Corpse wax.
Ah.
Also known as adipose hair.
What's that do?
It's basically when the body is in a very cool but wet environment. And so the body fat leaks out.
Gross.
And solidifies. Sometimes also called soap mummies.
Soap mummies.
Yep.
Apparently, Aggie just tapped out my Chrome extension. Just crashed.
Oh no.
So that's not good. We'll see what happens here. Not enough memory to run this page. What? Yeah, my computer is fine. My computer is just fine. I am using 30% of my memory, which is a lot, but like, I don't know. Maybe we'll close the Game Workshop's Reddit page and we'll see if that helps.
You get off that Reddit. It's toxic. It's even toxic for the computer.
Yep. Blah, 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 blah. I like the jellyfish here. I'm not sure I like the finger, per se. What can I do to make this look better? I think Druid would do this one really well. Drawing comb jelly.
I mean, it kind of looked like you're trying to mimic his painting style.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're trying to draw a box jelly, this is what it looked like. It looks like this. Because they don't really have tentacles or anything, they're just little bloop. So, like, yeah. I feel like you have to paint it. I feel like painting it is kind of the better way to do it.
Box jellyfish have tendrils.
Say it again?
I said box jellyfish have tendrils.
Sorry, I said box. This is a blood jellyfish. A blood comb jelly.
Okay. I was gonna say, I've watched Jeremy Wade try to pick one up and get stung by one.
What an idiot. This is what they look like.
Yeah.
Let's try again.
They look like little spaceships.
They look like little spaceships. That is true. Should I draw the finger first? And then encapsulate it in a jellyfish? Maybe that's the better way to do it. Maybe the finger's the more important part, you know? I'm so old. Okay, instead of putting the sigil on the jellyfish, let's put it on the ring. We'll make the ring the darkest part of this picture. So I rewatched Dune 2 last night.
Okay.
The Dune universe is bananas.
Bananas?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, it feels very 40K-ish in my mind.
It's...
I think it's the scope, right?
I can't
like,
understand. Yeah.
Like, it's not... It's political intrigue, but on galactic levels, and that just kind of inherently breaks things, because it's now no longer like, oh, the king is right over there. It's like, you have to have entire planets of people, which is just bigger than my brain is used to thinking about.
Yeah. It's like my biggest gripe with 40K. It's too big.
It's like it's the same issue that happens with Star Wars. Like, George Lucas loved the idea of a forest planet or an ice planet, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they tried to like retcon a little bit of it, and like a lot of those are supposed to be moons, so they don't have like a huge climate shift. But with that, there's this disconnect of, think about how big our planet is and how culturally diverse it is, and then you go to like, oh, this is a mining planet where everybody on this planet is the same, and it's like, I don't think that's how that would happen.
It's also the Star Trek problem.
Yeah.
Where it's I remember watching overly sarcastic productions. They did a trope talking about like I can't remember the term, but it's just like each planet is its own homogenous culture.
There was
I
something.
think they definitely got away with it, like in Next Generation, a little bit more, but it was still such a common thing. But yeah, sorry,
like,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
with the Next Generation, they did basically they got away with it because they were like everyone in Starfleet is essentially the same, right? Like they all went to Starfleet Academy and they all brought their own walk of life to it, and that kind of created this snapshot of each person represented their culture. And so it was supposed to be this huge diverse thing where like Captain Picard is from France, and it's like you don't really ever think about it because it's not a main part of the show, right? Like we're not interested in looking at human culture, human diversity. We were looking at alien diversity. Yeah. And so when we see the aliens, we only ever see their Starfleet, and it's like, okay, that's kind of bland.
It's almost like it's an unintentional thing of sci-fi that eventually everyone on the planet will just eventually have the same culture. And that's kind of impossible without some rather bad things happening or a highly unrealistic thing happening.
Right. And but that is also the intent of right, Star Trek is a utopia, right? Like,
oh
that's
it makes
idea.
sense.
The human race came together and is now a utopia because of Starfleet.
After like 100 years of brutal war.
Yeah, and that is the other part that I think is looked like kind of forgotten about, is like there was a very large world war, there was a nuclear holocaust, like there was a whole bunch of other stuff. And then Starfleet Academy.
Where Khan comes from.
Yeah. That was the fun thing about Dune that I had to learn by kind of going out and away and like finding more information about it. The reason there aren't any like computers or anything is because there was basically
AI rebellion.
An AI rebellion, yeah. And they were like, well, never again. No more computers are allowed to ever be used for things. Or no, like smart computers. So like they still have technology and stuff, but like the navigation charts and computer systems that can do those calculations are people hopped up on Spice.
Which is essentially where 40K got their stuff from.
Oh really? Did you come out before 40K stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm fairly certain. Let me Dune book. Let me make sure though. Could be wrong. Oh yeah, 65.
Okay.
40K doesn't come out until like the 80s. So in 40K, there is no AI, and any AI is supposed to be destroyed if it's found.
Right.
Because of the Iron Men rebellion. Apparently there was like a AI rebellion.
Makes sense to me.
So it's like a matter of like religious decree, like the Emperor of Man issued essentially a papal bull banning all forms of AI.
And that's where the there is an AI variant, I believe, for Warhammer. I can't remember what they're called.
So there's the Necrons, which are like living robots. Well, not really living. Some of them are living robots.
They use people's bodies to make themselves, right? I assumed that was from that.
So they're kind of like a separate thing from the Iron Men. They were like millions of years before humans were even like Neanderthals.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. So they're kind of their own thing. But it's the Empire of Man is incredibly like technologically regressive. Because so you have like these tech priests who have essentially made it while that there should be no innovation whatsoever.
Right.
Because everything great is in the past, so we just need to learn how to figure out how all this old stuff works.
That is the decree of the Covenant in Halo. Because like, so in the Halo universe, the Forerunners show up and like create a perfect society.
Mm-hmm.
And the Flood show up, which are like an ancient parasite that's like, we want to consume everything, and they're like, well, how do we stop this? What if we build all these rings and just kill everything in the universe except us, because we'll protect ourselves from it. And then they do that, the rings don't go off, and a small sect of them become humanity.
Huh.
So now all the Forerunners are trapped in their, super cryo sleep or whatever, waiting for the Armageddon to happen. And humanity's like, hey, cool, we found all these cool rings, that's neat. Except the problem is that alien races, long before that, found the Forerunner technology and are like, these are the gods, they've given us these cool gifts. And because they like worship these things, they're like, do not change it ever. And so they have all these fleets and ships and like perfect technology, but they don't actually know how it works. It just is. And then so humanity kind of catches back up to it, and Cortana just like wrecks their shit. Because Cortana's technically like learns about the Forerunner technology and is then more advanced than them, and just like, oh good.
Yeah. So in 40K, the tech priests, they were founded on Mars.
Okay.
And apparently deep hidden and buried in the earth is this Necron Uber machine called a Catan. And these people end up finding it, accidentally awakening it, and assuming it being a god.
Assuming? Oh, assuming it's a god, okay.
Yep, not consuming it, assuming.
Gotcha.
They assumed that it was some sort of god, and they started worshipping it as it like disappeared. So they refer to it as like the machine god.
Okay.
And then there's like the Omnissiah, which is the God Emperor. And
wait, so
they're really. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Yeah, this is like the convolutedness of Warhammer, right? Like.
Yep.
I thought the God Emperor was completely separate, but so like the Necron spawned the God Emperor?
No. So the tech priests, who are human, I should specify, they were humans who lived on Mars, so Martian humans.
Okay, that found this machine.
Yep.
Okay.
They accidentally woke it up, and it flooded all their computers with like its data. And then it like either went back to sleep or disappeared. I'm not sure on that personally.
Got it.
And so they start their own weird religion about the machine god and the Omnissiah. And the Omnissiah is how they, or most of them, viewed the God Emperor. The God Emperor hates religion, which is the ironic hypocrisy of the Empire.
So he's captured the tech priests by accidentally assuming their
and has allowed them to stay because he needs the Empire needed them to fix
so the tech priests are still part of the Terran or the human.
Oh yeah, they're called Terrans. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had assumed that they were part of the
Necrons.
The Necrons, yeah.
Yeah, no.
The Necromongers.
They might as well be like half robot, like cyborgs, because like they start replacing their body with like machine parts.
Like there's the thing that going around YouTube all the time of just like the skull. Like it's just a talking skull, and it's like, you're dead. You're just dead.
Yep. That is technically a form of AI, but they said no. This is the soul of someone wrapped inside the skull. Totally not AI. I was like, yeah.
There's a Doctor Who episode about that, which I think was a really good episode, where they're like, they go to this planet, and this like race of shadow creatures that just consume things will eat the people, but the people's spacesuits are so good at like maintaining and coexisting with the person that after the creatures eat them, the spacesuit just kind of like keeps them alive, and they think they're alive, but they're not. And it's like, oh no, we got some weird stuff going on. We got a weird combination of instant death and robot chicanery.
Yeah.
So that's a fun episode. I think I'm about done here. I don't know what else I can do to keep this one going. We could do another one. I think we'll probably do one more sketch. It's about noon. It is Jump Rope's birthday, so I want to go get that ready. And then I gotta go bake a cake. So we're gonna go do that. Let's do one more sketch, and then we'll call it a day. A dwarf paladin whose hammer is an anvil on a stick, who also has a prosthetic leg. Why the limb destruction today? I guess the first one was my own choice of giving him a hook. But, you know, pirates, whatever.
Oh yeah, I kept forgetting to bring this up. The reason that I have issues with the tech priests is just they're so dumb. So they believe every piece of technology has machine spirit living in it.
Got it.
Even guns, things that are technically like, I guess technically not machines per se, but and so to appease, before you use it, you had to appease it, and this means like waving incense over it, bathing it in oils, and just like. And they like slept on seals, little red wax seals. With.
I like those. I dig the aesthetic of it.
It's just like aesthetically very cool. The reasoning behind it is so dumb.
Yeah, when I first started, we were talking about Warhammer when the new game came out.
Yeah.
And so YouTube started throwing a whole bunch of Warhammer shit at me, and I kept seeing these animations of like orcs painting stuff purple and making them invisible. And one of the things that kept popping up was an animation of like an orc painting his bike, and then he spills the paint on his hand, and then his hand is gone. It's just like I hate that. I hate the I mean, I feel like that's the joke, right? Like it's the joke is that it's ridiculous.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that's one of those situations where, like, the mechanic... obviously, I don't think that would happen, like, in the universe. But mechanically, because of the way the rules work, that's what would happen.
Yeah.
So.
It's like when people's like, say, oh, can I, like, use curate water to drown someone's lungs? It's like
technically,
no.
Technically, yes, but also no. Like, stop it.
Yeah. And so it gets even more absurd because the amount of like ceremony you have to do depends on like the size of the machine.
Gotta
and so
have, like,
big,
huge...
massive like Imperial Titans, which are like Gundams.
Mm-hmm. But that begs
like,
the question: is it true?
They say yes. I say the
Does
oil
it
is
mechanically
just
do
machine.
something when they do that, or is it just ornamentation?
I do not know because it never comes up in game.
Okay.
So like they talk. There's like in the books or whatever, they'll talk about like normally like one tech priest could handle it, but like if it's like an Imperial Titan or whatever, it's like a full on like choir of tech priests with sensors and chanting and massive.
Did you
massive?
You never
Go ahead.
played Diablo 3, did you?
I have,
Okay.
but only a bit.
I think it's actually, I'm thinking about Diablo 4 now. The story for Diablo 4 was pretty cool, even though it was badly written.
Are you referring to the scene where the knights are in hell?
Yeah, That was super cool. Like they did a
Oh,
really
yeah.
good job of getting that, like, the ceremony of what they're doing to them is more important than actually like the fight.
Yep.
And so I like
Woman
that.
burning her feet as
Mhm.
she's walking barefooted in hell. Yeah.
Yep.
That is.
I dig that. I dig that aesthetic. Like that's the same thing as the seals, right? It's just like
Oh yeah.
the everything all right? Okay. I'll probably be done here in 20 minutes or so. Um, so like I like that. The same thing with I think the tech priest, like that has that vibe, right? It's just like
Mm.
the um not the ordination of it, but like the ritualistic nature of it
Yeah.
is cool. I dig that.
The pomp and circumstance
Yeah.
around them.
Which usually I hate, but like in these situations,
Mm.
it can be done really well for creating that kind of like these people are full of shit.
Yep. Yep.
Because then
'Cause
you,
it's
as
like-
the Nephilim, you're just like, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go do it. Deal with it.
Yep.
I'm gonna actually deal with this situation here.
Yeah, because like in 40K, you have these massive spaceships that are just cathedral cities in space. It's just like this is absurd.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it. Some
And, like,
days.
but that's part of the reason, like in Diablo 4, it made sense because like they had an angel with them. Like
Oh yeah.
we got to see the like the culmination of their faith in totality, right? It's like
Yep.
they're physically talking to their god and being like, this is what we got to do, we're gonna do it. And so that's kind of
Yep.
fun to see.
And then he gets his teeth kicked in,
Yeah, no, they get the crap
but not
beat
by
out of them.
us.
Yeah, that's why the writing in that game was shit. Like everything, it essentially, like the Indiana Jones did. Like your character doesn't have to be there. Nothing your character does matters, and like it just the story just happens. and
Like
nothing
it would
you
make
do
a
is
great
important.
show or movie.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, like that's the problem with it being a game, is that
Mm.
it's not interesting to or about your character. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, bummer.
It's rough,
And then
buddy.
it essentially ends with them being like, "You didn't matter." It's like, cool, thanks for letting me play the game.
Thanks for letting me spend $60 on this movie.
Yeah, essentially. We played that, and then we played Baldur's Gate again, and that's when I was running through Baldur's Gate 3, being like, "God, there's too much story. I just want to play." That was almost all because of Diablo. Just like, we saw that people liked this from Baldur's Gate, so now we're also going to make a very long-winded story game. And it's like, don't do that. Just
You
make a
took
good
all the
game.
wrong things from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
'Cause,
Baldur's
like-
Gate, this works with Baldur's Gate because your character is the pivotal thing inside of it. Like everything your character does drives the story.
Yep.
I don't want to be along for the ride. Right, gotta go. It was good to hear. Have fun. Hope you catch the stream again next time. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Alexander. We will catch you next time, and we'll be around next week. So, have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving and weekend, I guess. Thanksgiving weekend. Don't know if people get that off or not.
Only in America.
Yeah.
This is America.
Oof. Anvils are crazy. Anvils are.
Oh, I know what I was looking at. There's an anvil hammer in Elden Ring I wanted to show you.
Gotcha. You get it from like the big anvil guy, right?
No, this one's a little bit different.
Okay.
I believe it's either a colossal weapon or a colossal hammer.
The funniest thing
Console.
about anvils is like, I think that people kind of overlook. Most anvils that we have here in America that people think are like classic anvils are designed for farriers. Like, They're designed specifically for making horseshoes. Because if you're not making horseshoes, you can really use anything. Like, you just need a big, heavy anvil. It could just be a block. But anvils are cool. They're designed very well for what they are. Because they each have, like, different parts of a tool in it. And I dig it. I dig it a lot. There you go. That's not where I would have expected them to put the...
Right?
They took the hardened pointy bits and made it unusable as a weapon.
Welded it to a haft.
Yeah. Most of the time, the bottom part of that anvil would be wood. So that's weird. Very weird. Okay.
Well, I've seen solid metal ones that are like that.
The problem is with that is like this anvil, right? If you have an anvil, I guess it would just be like this. This is all hardened steel, which means one, it weighs a lot, and two, it is very expensive and hard to make. So if you take this and then try to make it have a base that is its weight, you're making 4 to 6 anvils worth of material.
Yeah.
So a lot of time what they'll do is they will make the anvil and then a frame for it out of stronger steel, and then give it a base, and then you weight it. You put weights down here. But that can cause a little vibration, so people will also build stone or wooden blocks for it that you then bolt the anvil to. And that's a lot more common, to have like a solid stone or solid wood base, which I'm guessing is what that's supposed to be, but it also looks like slag, so it could be just slag underneath.
Yeah, so I have a neat little weapon. So it's unique skill. You slam it on the ground and like a bunch of hot iron spikes or spears shoot out like
That's cool.
in a cone from the ground.
Yeah, even things like this is another old one. Like, save material, save weight. Seems like the most wasteful thing to do would just be make a solid base for that, because it's just slag.
Yeah, it's also essentially like a smaller version of like these weird like forged shrines that they have where you find them. It's just like a giant anvil that has like a burning forge in it.
Okay, like a stone forge underneath it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm done. I hear the kiddo screaming, so I'm gonna go get some food ready there. Gonna go bake, jump up a cake, and then yeah, we'll try to have a good old time. If people want to wish her happy birthday, feel free to do so in the Discord. I will put up a post for that a little bit later, I think. And then I'm going to be off for the weekend. I'll be working on the doggo stuff maybe this weekend, but probably next week. Probably Monday we'll try to do a stream where we just work on the dog stuff. And we'll go from there. I don't know why I gave him, like, heat fins, but it made sense when I was thinking he was a blacksmith. Maybe he just needs, like, big hammers. Maybe he needs more hammers. Like a big set of tongs or something. Glomdorp of the Forge.
Forge Father bless you.
Go watch a YouTube short. Go comment on a video, and we will catch you next time. Thank you for all your suggestions today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody. See you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out today, Corvus.
Mm-hmm.
We'll catch y'all next time.